Master Your Mindset Radio, episode 110.
Welcome to Master Your Mindset Radio, the show where we empower you to discover your true self before the world told you differently. Now for your host, Elizabeth Nader.
Hi, friends. Welcome back. Today's topic is money. Money and your mindset. Such an important topic and something that a lot of people avoid talking about. I think in many ways, money may be the number one issue where people are challenged in life in one way or another. You have to be honest with yourself and say, do I really have the money mindset I need to have? Have I really figured out this whole money game? And it's something that evolves over your lifetime. Some people come out of childhood with a great money mindset because of their parents. Others have a long way to go because of the environment that they grew up in. And then you learn throughout adulthood to look at money certain ways based on your experiences. So it's so individual and it's so different by each person. Of course, there's a lot people have in common, but everybody needs to think about how they think about money and what their mindset is related to money, because it is super critical. Money is really a tool. Money is something you can use to make the world a better place or to hurt the world. Money is amoral until you use it. So you need to know what your mindset is about money and be honest with yourself about the struggles that you may have. Or there may be some areas that you're winning and you're doing really well when it comes to money mindset. Now, this is not about how much money you have, how little money you have. It's not a value judgment on any of that. You can have a ton of money and have a very bad, poor money mindset. You can have very little money and have a fabulous money mindset. It's not about the amount. It's about how you think about it. I want to open really the discussion with this quote from my book, which chapter 7 is money mindset. So we're going to kind of go through the book, through the chapter at a very high level. But the quote I open with is from Robert Kiyosaki, and it is, God does not deem you to be lucky or unlucky. Your mindset does. So we need to get control of our mindset related to money. It is really the number one stressor for most people. I read a study that said 72% of Americans report money as their number one stressor. So if that's the case, have we overcome this? Have we put anything in place to help us figure out how to lessen our stress related to money? Do we focus on our money mindset? Do we understand the way that we look at money really sets up everything in our life? Do we know that we can change everything by simply changing our mindset? So this isn't about straightening out your finances. That's not what I do. This isn't about investing correctly or saving correctly or any of that. There's certainly so many experts out there who can help people with that. But this is about looking at your mindset regarding money. The fact is, the good advice I can give you and the best advice I was given about money is to start on the inside first. Start in your mindset and then work your way out to the outside. So you have to identify, clarify, and get rid of toxic ideas that you have about money that are holding you back. You have to do those first. You have to replace those with healthy, affirming money mindset thoughts, ideas, paradigms. Then you can work on the outside, which is everything else, your expenses, your income, your debt, your savings, your investing, all the things that you can work on, all the tools that exist. But if you do all of that and you haven't fixed your mindset, it's all for naught. The power starts on the inside. The power starts with you and your mindset. Now, that might frustrate you because it requires you to take ownership. You have to admit to the fact that you and you alone are the one who impacts your money situation. Now, you may be in a relationship and a marriage where it's impacted by the spouse. I get that. But you have the control and the ability to change your mindset and the way you look at money. And you have to do that first. It's not about the luck or lot you drew in life. It's not about that. It's about how you see money. It's not your circumstances. It's your mindset. So you have to agree to that first and be willing to really take a hardcore look at the way you see money and be willing to challenge yourself to step up your game as it relates to your money mindset. Remember, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing time and again and expecting different results. So I'm going to ask you a series of 6 questions from my book, from that chapter, that I hope will allow you to be honest with yourself and perhaps start to change the way you look at money so you can actually see different results in your life. The first question I want to ask you is, how do you view money? Now, I go into great detail in my book about all these. I'm not going to do that here. You can get the book, you can read it, you can meditate over it, but I'm just going to give you the high level. How do you view money? What does that mean? Do you see it as evil or do you see it as good? Do you see it as limited or unlimited? Is money a blessing or a curse? Is it yours or does it belong to God? Should you hoard money or should you share money? Is money a means to the end or is it the end goal? I said in the beginning that money is amoral until you put it to use. That's true. Money doesn't contain any energy, positive or negative, in its static state. You have to do something with it. Then it becomes positive or it becomes negative. So I want you to think about how you view money. You may be surprised, if you're honest with yourself, that you may actually see it in a negative light. And if you do, challenge that, because I can tell you that which you judge, you will never have much of. So you need to think about how you view money. Do you see it as a positive thing? Because if you see it as negative, then you definitely won't be attracting it. So ask yourself those questions. How do I see money? Again, get the book. It will go into a lot more detail about each of these. Number 2, the second question is, how do you view people with more money than you? How do you see them? Do you judge them? Do you envy them? Do you make comments about their lifestyle or their purchases, question whether they should make so much money, assume they must be selfish or greedy or corrupt? Certainly there are selfish, greedy, and corrupt people, but do you find yourself judging those with more money than you? Again, I really believe that you will never have what you criticize. Be careful. Are you judging people with money? A good example would be sports players who get these big contracts. It's very easy for many people to say they shouldn't make that much. They're just throwing a football. How dare they have that much money? Well, I have to tell you, if you believe in capitalism, that's what the market bears. The market, meaning people buying tickets, advertisers, all the people that play into this, are saying this person is worth this much money and we're willing to pay. That's capitalism. It's really not for you to judge that. Also, be careful if you're judging a business owner. You're basically saying, I don't want him or her to make that much money. And therefore, if I work for them, you don't really want your job, because business owners need to be successful in order to continue to employ people. So when you're judging people with money, you're actually putting yourself in a negative position. And really, there are many times we can judge people's behavior, definitely. What they do with money, what you see overtly that is negative, corrupt, or evil, but you don't know their story. So be careful. Be careful how you judge people with more money than you have. You do not have context. You do not know the full story. And again, you will never have what you judge. The third question is, how do you view business? Now, I just mentioned that a little bit, that when we judge business owners and say they shouldn't make so much money, we're really saying we don't want our jobs, because businesses need to make money and profit, to reinvest, to hire people, to succeed. So how do you view business? Now, I ask that question because if you notice in the media, in popular culture, in Hollywood, business is the big evil. Generally, it is. It's seen as and presented as the big evil. But is it? Are there some that maybe are evil? Perhaps. There are definitely stories about that. But are most businesses that way? Probably not. This country runs on small businesses. Are they evil? Should they not be trusted? You probably know a ton of small business owners. How do you view business? Because business is what drives everything. How you view it may be tied into the way that you see money. The fourth question I pose in my book is, how do you think God views money? Now, this is interesting because if people are honest and they think that God looks down on money, or he somehow thinks rich people you have a harder time getting into heaven, as that verse is often misunderstood, then that would follow that God looks unfavorably on money. But does he? If you go back in Scripture, and especially the Old Testament, you see that he writes often, or the writers write often about the wealth of Solomon, the wealth of David, that it's something that's almost bragged about in the Bible. Does God really look negatively on money? Well, if it's all his anyway, why would he? If he sees it as a positive tool, why would God view money as evil? The Bible emphasizes the wealth of the patriarchs repeatedly. So does God view money as bad? Question yourself about that. Challenge yourself about how you think God views money. Is it his? Is it yours? Who owns it? Look at the talents, the parable of the talents, that is, and God's story that's told there, that Jesus tells about the servants with the talents and what they did with him and with them, and how the master evaluated their performance. And those servants that made the money grow, made the talents grow, they were given more. The one who hid it, did nothing with it, was afraid it was taken from him. So how do we think God views money? You need to settle that in your spirit. The fifth question is, how much is enough money? What does that mean? How much is enough? Do you look at other people and say they have enough? Do you believe that there is a limit? This isn't a right or wrong answer. I just want to provoke you to think about it. Just think about how much is enough. Because I'm not really sure that we know the answer to that question for anyone else. I would challenge you to answer that question only for yourself. How much is enough? You know, Dave Ramsey talks about wealth, and he says that you should set in your mind the amount that your family wants to live on and save and invest, and the rest of it should be given to great causes. The rest of it should go back to helping humanity. And when you look at money that way, it's not a limit per se, but you decide how much is enough for you to live. And the rest you can do so much good with. It's an interesting way to look at money. The sixth question, and the last question I have in the chapter, is, how do you make more money? How do you make more money? Well, the bottom line is you serve more people. Now, that's an obvious answer to a business, because how does a business make more money? They serve more people, they get more customers. But it's also true. It's also true even to the employees, because the employer is their customer. How do they make more money? How do they get promoted? They serve better. They serve their employer, their boss, better, and therefore they're rewarded. So in all cases, making more money in your life has everything to do with service, with serving better, with serving more, with serving well. So understanding that is really a law of money, which is a give and a receive. It's the age-old sow and reap. Nothing changes there. That's the law God put into place from the beginning of time. It's in nature, and it has to do with money as well. So think about that. If you need to make more money, how do you focus? You focus on serving better, serving well, serving more. Overall, what's so important about your money mindset is simply by changing the way you look at it. You can completely change your relationship with money and how much money you have, frankly. It has an impact directly on your finances when you start to change your mindset. I heard someone say once, and I put it in the book, it was such a great image. If you think about money as a stream, and you're standing with your back to this stream, and the money is flowing past you. The money is flowing past you. Not to you, but just past you. All it takes is a change in your mindset. Turn around, literally turn around in that stream, and now the money is flowing to you. Picture that in your mind, just turning around. Now you're looking upstream and that stream is flowing to you, and that's money flowing to you. All it takes is a change in your money mindset. I hope some of these ideas challenge you. I urge you to get the book for that chapter alone. I think is tremendous because everyone needs to be challenged in the area of their money mindset, no matter where you are. And when you do it, when you're younger, in your 20s and your 30s, you need to change it again in your 40s and your 50s. We always need to up-level and think about what we're thinking about as it relates to money and how we use it to live, how we use it to bless the world, and what kind of relationship we have with it. I believe it's a tool that's meant to change this world for the better. It's not evil. It's not evil. The love of money is evil, as the Bible says. But money itself is nothing until you use it. Use it for good. Just turn a little bit and have it rush towards you so you can use it to change the world.
Thank you for listening to Master Your Mindset Radio. Before you go, please visit elizabethnader.com to learn more about the Mindset Maven and how she is guiding high performers to map their mindset to their message so they can effectively express who they are and why their ideas should win. Looking forward to seeing you online.